Hello Internet, my name is Cognitoon, and this is my channel. This is the first real video that's going to be posted on it. Hopefully a lot more is going to come out. This channel is mostly for experimentation purposes at the moment. I'm going to be messing around with video editing, I'm going to be messing around with music, just various hobbies that I want to start. Well, hobbies don't really go anywhere unless you do things with them, so that's what this channel is. Today, I mainly just wanted to get some thoughts out about a recent experience that I actually already posted some raw footage of, which was when me and my brother, who goes by Mog of Win on here, went to the nearest Best Buy to our location that is running the Oculus Rift demo. We actually had to drive about an hour to get there, but guys, it was really worth it. Like, I cannot recommend this enough. If you have the time, if you have the inclination, if you have any interest whatsoever in virtual reality or gaming or any sort of immersive experience, find a Best Buy near you that is giving the Oculus Rift demo. You can actually schedule appointments if you go to live.oculus.com. As you can see on the other videos on my channel, somebody there will walk you through the basics of it, get you set up, make sure that you don't do anything stupid like knock over their equipment or smack your head into a desk. And they'll run you through this short little 10-minute interactive experience. A lot of it is just you wandering around this virtual world, experiencing the different things that the Rift is capable of. The last part of the demo, they actually put you through The Climb by the developers of Crysis. It is really, really fantastic. I was expecting it to be extremely disorienting because during my own research into VR, I happen to know that the worst thing you can do in VR is move the camera when the character's head isn't moving. The disconnect between your movements and the camera's movement is what makes most people motion sick. But I didn't experience any of that. The movement in The Climb was fluid. It was perfectly synchronized to your hand movements, which are controlled by your controller and your gaze. So everything felt extremely intuitive. It did not take very long before the hands that were floating in front of me, just controlled by where I was looking, felt like my real hands. And you just use button presses on the Xbox controller to grip and release and add chalk, which refills your grip meter. But even without touch controllers, which is the thing I'm really waiting for, is Oculus Touch or the HTC Vive, it did not take very long at all before those hands that were floating around, disembodied from my viewpoint, felt like my hands. It was fantastic. And all of the hype seemed to live up to it. It was perfect one-to-one tracking. I lost tracking one time when I was in the Papercraft demo because I leaned over too far and left the tracking area. And that terrified me because I lurched forward suddenly when I wasn't actually moving. But still, everything was just so wonderful. It was such an experience. A few initial thoughts that I had. The thing is amazingly comfortable. It weighs practically nothing. It feels a lot lighter, and maybe that's just the strap, but it feels a lot lighter than the Samsung Gear. Extremely comfortable. Because the foam that they use on the faceplate is supposed to be dirt resistant, it doesn't really absorb any moisture, and henceforth, if you start sweating, you're really going to feel it, and that's not comfortable. The area for your nose, the cutout for your nose, is actually very noticeable when you're in there, especially in a brightly lit store. When I first put it in and everything was pitch black, there was this big, giant ring of light right around my giant nose. So even if you have a big nose, you're still going to see that cutout really well. I imagine it's probably worse for people with small noses. In real-world use, you just dim the lights. You're strapping a monitor to your face, so you don't need the lights in your room anyways. And also, even in a really brightly lit store, it did not take more than a few seconds of being in the Rift before I stopped even being consciously aware of any external input whatsoever, except for people talking directly to me. I was there. I was in whatever demo was running at the time. My brother, Mog of Win, he brought his glasses along. I decided to wear contacts for this, but he does not have those. He did not find the Rift comfortable enough with glasses to actually wear the glasses during the demo, so he had to go without glasses and henceforth wasn't able to see nearly as well as he would have liked. So that is something that I was a little disappointed about. A lot of talk has been made about how these things are supposed to work just fine for people with glasses. Maybe it's just the wide frames that he uses. I can't really tell for sure. But even with that being said, A, it's pretty easy to get contacts, and B, there are apparently already Kickstarters out there who are working on getting prescription lenses that can attach to the Oculus and Vive. So there are options out there, and both the Vive and the Oculus are going to be really expensive. The computers that you need to run them are beasts, but there's really nothing like it, and it's really true that it's almost impossible to really accurately describe what it's like to be in VR unless you've experienced it. You can't tell somebody who hasn't done it exactly what it's like. So please, if you've been having doubts about it, if you're curious about it, if you've never heard of it before, and this is your first inkling that real virtual reality is coming, find a store near you that's running the demo. They take walk-in appointments. You don't have to schedule one. You can just walk up and say, hey, I'm really curious about it. They'll slot you in. They'll find time for you. They want to show this off. They want to get the word out there. So do that, please, and you will not regret it. And thank you so much for watching, guys.